morning, everyone. It's a bright sunny day here today in Pennsylvania after we got some snow yesterday. Hey, ladies. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this at a different angle today. Hi from Cincinnati. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, anyway, okay, I got to focus here. I haven't had enough coffee yet this morning. I'm going to try at this angle. Hopefully you can see everything that I'm going to be doing. I have my phone like literally right in front of my face, so I'm also hoping I don't whack my head against anything. Okay, so now that there's quite a few people in here, I think I will just introduce myself. I'm Corinne Sutherland. This is only my second Periscope. I did one yesterday, which was just a Bible walkthrough. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to dive in and try this. Try to do a process scope. So you're going to get to see me do this page today. Now, I did already start it. I was kind of messing around with a couple different things, trying to see best how I wanted to do this. But because of the snow that we got, it's just so gorgeous. I don't know if you saw my picture that I posted with the information telling you about this scope today, but I took that picture this morning of kind of the back property of ours, and it's just breathtaking what God can do with snow. And I just love this verse, and I have it covered up because I am going to cover it up again and mask it. But I love this verse where God talks about our sins, though they be as scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Though they be like crimson, they shall be as wool. That is just amazing to me because we all know how beautiful and white snow is. And our sin is so ugly. And it's just amazing to me that God covers our sins through the blood of Jesus and makes them white as snow. So anyway, that's the inspiration for this page that I'm going to be doing. Now, this mask that I created, someone had asked me about this yesterday, and it's actually it's actually a masking tape. It's an art masking tape, and so I'm just going to show you what the roll looks like. It's very big, and it just comes, I don't know if you can see this okay, but it just comes on this giant roll, and it's called Masquerade Art Masking Tape. And so I cut it down to whatever size I want. It's basically like the texture, or I don't know, the feel of the sticky part of a sticky note. And you can cut it down to whatever size you want. Obviously, I won't be running out of that anytime soon because I have such a large roll of it. But anyway, that's what I used for this mask right here. And it's also the same thing I'm going to use for my mask to create my snowy hills. So this is what I'm going to be using. I just have a piece of scrap computer paper, and I cut out kind of a hill shape from the masking tape and attached it to my paper, and that's going to cover the bottom of my page. Now, I am a stamper, and so these techniques that I'm going to be showing you are actually techniques that I learned in stamping. So I thought, you know what, I already know how to do all this stuff, and I have all these great products, why not use them in my Bible journaling? So here we go. Now, this is sticky, like I said, so I'm going to just attach that. And what you may want to do if you're doing something like this to protect your other page would be to take another piece of scrap paper and maybe stick it in here, just to be safe. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, and I know you can't really see this very well, I'm not sure if anyone wants that information, but there it is. First thing I'm going to do is take a sponge dauber. This is a jumbo sponge dauber. I love this. Oh, I see Judy says she lost me. I'm not really sure what's going on. It looks like I'm still here, so I'm not sure. But anyway, hopefully you're back. Okay, so moving on. I'm using my Jumbo Dauber, and I am also using this Memento ink pad Nautical Blue. Again, stamper, so I've got tons of ink pads. And I'm just going to, let's see if I can get this in here so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to dab my sponge dauber into my ink. And I do want to move that because I don't want it in my way. And then I'm going to sponge off a little bit here. I don't want all of that ink. And I'm just going to, with my hand holding on to this, I'm just going to start on this paper and start sponging the color in a circular motion, not pushing super hard. I don't want it to be, I don't want to get like this kind of I don't know, a blob of ink on there. So I'm just circular with my motions, sponging this on, sponging the ink on. And the reason I masked off the verse is because I wanted the verse to be white. I wanted that to remain white. Now you can keep going in and adding more and more ink to this as you go to make it as dark as you wish. I might not do, I don't know, we'll see. I might not do the entire page. And then because I've removed that so many times, it's starting to want to come off, but we'll just work this around here. And I do have a piece of scrap paper back behind my page, just to kind of help me a little bit. Now, the Bible pages are much thinner than cardstock. So if you're a stamper and you're used to sponging, kind of like I am here, if you're used to sponging on cardstock, it doesn't move around a lot, but the pages do tend to move around. And I'm actually going to take my clipboard here, and I'm going to stick this under here just to give me a harder surface, because once I get up to the edge of this page, excuse me here while I adjust, I want to be able to have something hard under there to actually sponge on. So I'm going to come in from the top now, and again, like I said, this is going to be a little bit harder if you're used to doing this. It's a little harder with the Bible journaling or the Bible pages because they are thinner, so you have to be careful. If I wasn't sponging the top of this, I would probably put maybe some of the masking tape on the top to hold my page down, but I actually want to sponge up here, so I can't really do that. You just have to be careful and be slow. Now here I'm not really doing circular motions, but that's just because I don't want to move this around too much. Now here, when I get into the crease, I'm going to have to move my clipboard out of the way because I just can't get flat enough, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I can do that when I'm not trying to show you the actual technique. Okay, so you can kind of see this is coming together. And what I want to do, is I kind of want to get it to where it's blue, more blue at the top, and then almost like some white with clouds. You know how there's like those lower clouds in the sky? I don't really want to do clouds as far as like drawing them in or anything like that. I just kind of want it to look like the sky might look, where there's sort of clouds, a little bit of white across the sky. And there's more, like in that picture that I showed this morning, there's more blue at the top. So you can do this till you like it, till it's the way you want. You could even do different blues. It doesn't have to be this blue exactly, but okay, so then when I pull this away, you're going to see my verse is now highlighted. Okay, now what I want to do is pull this away, and I've got that nice white hill, but we're not done yet. We're not done quite yet. because I want there to be more little hills. So I'm going to take my ink and I'm going to take my mask and I'm just going to kind of adjust it, move it down here a little bit, and just a tiny bit of blue against that little hill. And then when I move that away, you can kind of see it looks almost like a shadow. I'm going to move this out here again. I'm sorry. Just for the sake of being able to maneuver this better now that I got the top done. And you can do this at different angles just to kind of get the idea of little hills. And as you can see, by using ink like this, by using ink pads, it's going to give you a different effect than if you were using watercolor. It's kind of like a softer look. It doesn't wet your pages like watercolors would. And also, you know, obviously it's different from acrylics. You can still see through to the words. And I kind of like that about it. I like that I can still decorate my whole page without taking from what's written there. So, okay, so there's some other little hills. So what do you think so far? Are you still with me? Sometimes I just get talking and I don't really pay attention to if there's any comments or hearts or anything. I'm in the zone. Okay, so now you saw I had already put the trees on here. I was kind of messing around a little bit with embossing, but I didn't really like how it turned out. I didn't want the trees to be super black because I wanted to be able to read through here. So I stamped them in gray, and then when I tried to emboss it, it didn't get quite the way I wanted it to. So anyway, when I stamped the trees, I just used my VersaFine ink. This is Onyx Black. I inked up my tree, which I can do this and just show you. I don't really want to put any more trees on there right now, but I'll show you what I did at least. I inked up my tree. I did not want, like I said, I didn't want the black, so I stamped off on scrap paper to get most of the ink off, and then I stamped in my Bible. So you can see the difference. It's kind of a softer look. So that's how I got the sort of the grayer look of the tree there. Okay, so now this kind of is the fun part. I'm going to come in and I want to add some snow to the tree because that's one of the most beautiful things I think about when it first snows. Oh, I just love to look outside and see all of the trees covered in snow. It's just so beautiful. So I'm going to mimic that by using a Sharpie poster paint pen. These are white poster paint pens. I really like these. The VersaFine, does it bleed? Yes, it will bleed a little bit. You can see it ghosts on it doesn't really bleed per se. Now this looks the way it does because I embossed it, so it actually, the embossing sort of seeped in. Normally let me just show you real quick a little, sort of a different, we'll go off on a tangent here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a page that shows. The VersaFine actually more leaves like a shadow. Oh, I can't find anything right now. But anyway, it leaves more of a shadow than this. This is really because of the embossing that it looks that way. So if you're using the VersaFine and you don't like the bleeding, like this, I'll probably cover this with acrylic. I'll probably cover this part here with acrylic, and then it'll cover up the bleeding. If you don't like the bleeding, you're going to want to prep your page with maybe some clear gesso first. So anyway, that's a question that gets asked a lot about the ink pads. I have found that VersaFine does not bleed like a lot of other inks do, though. Like if I were to stamp this ink on my page, there would be more bleed than with the VersaFine, because this one's a dye ink and the VersaFine's a pigment. Anyway, back to the snow. Okay, so Sharpie poster paint pen. We actually are carrying these in our store now, sweetandsassstamps.com, because I love them so much, and we actually carried them for a little while and then stopped carrying them, but now they're back. So anyway, these are on the way. I have more coming, I think, the end of this week, so you can pre-order yours now if you are interested. But I love it. It's a paint pen, so you can do it over top of things. But I'm just going to go in and now add snow onto my branches. And you're just literally kind of tracing above. But it gives that neat look, that mimic of snow on a tree after it's snowed. So this part's kind of boring. When you use a heat gun, well, gesso is going to, anything wet that you put on your page is going to wrinkle your page. There's really nothing you can do about that. It will start to flatten more as you keep, you have your Bible closed or whatever. It will start to flatten more. A little trick that I have started doing when I do something wet on my page is I'll hit it with the heat gun a little bit to kind of dry it a little more quickly, but then I'll take a piece of scrap paper and then I will fold it in half. I'll fold it in half to cover my page, like for instance, like this. I'll fold it in half and then I'll kind of hug it around my page, just put it on the front and back, and then I'll close my Bible and let it sort of dry like that. That flattens it a little bit better as it's dry. I mean, I know obviously air is not getting to it when it's closed like that, but it does actually help to keep it from wrinkling quite as much. So that's just sort of something I played around with and figured out on my own. That might help you. Okay, so here, I guess you can kind of see, you get the idea with the snow, with this pen. I just love this pen. So anyway, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask by thinking and talking and reading at the same time. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so now I had debated before I did this, before I decided to do this page, I had debated about whether I wanted to cover up the lines, the journaling lines. And I thought, I'm just going to leave it the way it is, because then I can go in and actually write either the verse in if I want to, or maybe even just a prayer of thanks, just kind of around this page. And I'm still not sure what I want to do about that, so I'm not going to actually show you that at this point. But I did just want to show you a couple other little quick things. The stamp set that I'm using with the tree, for the tree, is called Forest Silhouettes. It's a Sweet and Sassy Stamps set, and I want to use, if I can find the stamp set that I set aside. I also want to put, I think, a little deer in the bottom here, because, I don't know, I just think it's cool. I like the deer. So I think I'm going to stick him down in the bottom here. But once you have this, once you have this scene in here, you really can do anything you want. I mean, if you have other stamps that you like and you want to put those in there, I could add more trees if I wanted to. I could stamp more trees in the background. But I'm just going to ink up my deer. Let me grab my scrap paper again. And I'm going to stamp off, because I don't want him to be too dark. And then I'm going to just kind of stamp him down here. Hey, Ashley. I actually used an ink pad. This is sponging. Yep. Thank you, Judy. I did sponging with one of these and an ink pad because I'm a stamper, and so I have tons of inks already, so I don't really have to go out and buy, I mean, not that I didn't, but but I don't have to go out and buy a bunch of other coloring, things because I have probably every color under the sun in ink pads. So anyway, so I sponged it. You'll have to catch the replay so that you can see how I did it. I can actually do a couple little quick things here now that I finished what I was doing before. Does anybody have any questions for me about what I used or how I did something? Anyone? Are there any other stampers tuned in that have ink pads and want to give this a try? I hope you will. It's great to use the supplies that you already have. Rebecca, I'm not really sure what I want to write. It might be kind of a personal prayer of thanks. I'm not really sure. I do date my entries. Let's see. Where did I get my Bible? I got my Bible on Amazon. Oh no, you can use any ink. You don't have to have Tim Holtz ink. I mean, Tim Holtz inks are great, but whatever. you can use any inks that you want. Thank you. It's really easy. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of running out of things to tell you because it doesn't take a lot of effort. Oh, cool. Good. Awesome. No, it's already dry. Nope, it's already dry, Ashley. There's no drying at all. I mean, you just put it on because it's not really a wet application. You're just using the ink pad. It just goes right on, and I don't have to worry about any drying. And it doesn't wrinkle my pages either. Now, of course, it's wrinkled a little bit because of the fact that I was sponging and the pages are thin, but that was my own fault. I had to hold the pages down a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, so that's that. Like acrylics, well, I don't know what you mean like acrylics. Is the ink like acrylics, or I'm not really sure. Oh, yes, that would be awesome. I would love to see you do that. Yes, you could use gray. I just kind of cheated because I already had my VersaFine black out. So when you stamp off, if you ink up and then stamp off like I did here, if you ink it up, you get the full strength with the black. And then if you stamp a second time, you get a gray. So I just I did it the lazy way instead of trying to dig out my gray pad. And then I think I missed another question that somebody had asked. Oh, about the acrylics. No, the ink pads, there really is no drying. Like when I put this on, as soon as it's on there, it's already dry. I don't have to wait for it to dry. I mean, it's dry. Like I could touch this and it's not gonna, if I have any ink on my fingers, it's just because of the fact that I keep touching the ink pad and this stuff here. But it's pretty much dry right away. Like I could even close this up in my Bible and it wouldn't transfer. Denise, yes, you need. I hope you didn't run into anything while you were watching in Hobby Lobby. Oh my gosh. Okay, how funny. Any other questions? Because I can wrap this up. I don't want it to be like boring, but I mean, that's basically it. I just sponged a background. Ashley wants me to do another page. I could do, you know what? I could probably do another page. I just don't know what to do. You know what? How about this? I did another page this morning before I started this. So let me show you that. And this is just to show you a different way to do the sponging. full spread. I don't know what I want to do with the other page, Ashley. I'm sorry. Okay. How about if I show you, how about if I show you this? Oh, you're welcome. I can't get this to work. Let me move my thing over. Woo, there we go. Okay. Bible peer pressure. Yes, that wasn't part of my plan, Ashley. Okay. This is, yeah, isn't that pretty? Okay, so this page I just actually did this morning. It's not done, obviously. I started it. This was done with the same technique. Okay, yes, Ashley. Ashley is giving peer pressure. Okay, I used 2 different ink colors to create this page. This was just a pink, and I'll pull that out to show you. Here we go. Rosebud Memento pink color, and I used a different sponge. These sponges are great, by the way, and we also are carrying these in sets of 3 on sweetandsassystamps.com if you are interested in getting any of these. I totally love them, just absolutely love them. I do try to, you can wash them out, you can reuse them. That's a question that gets asked a lot. You can reuse them, but I tend to, I'm a little bit of both. Just depends on the day. I get asked that question a lot too. Ashley, I can't focus. I have to stop reading your comments. Anyway, these sponges are so fun, and I just like to have a different sponge for each color group, so I might use this one for all my pinks or something like that. But anyway, so I just sponged the color on, the pink on, and then I did the blue, which was, oh, where did I put it? Oh, you guys should see my mess of a desk right now. It's a disaster. I'm surprised nothing is falling down on top of me. Okay, then I used this teal zeal for the blue. And when you put the two, the pink and the blue together, you kind of get that purple. So that's kind of a neat byproduct of using the 2 ink colors together. And then the paint splatters are also ink. I just stamped. I have some really cool paint splatter stamps, also from Sweet and Sassy, of course. And in fact, this is the one that I used. You can tell it's very well loved. This is the one I used for the teal paint splatters, and then I used this cool stamp set, if I can get it apart. Yes, the paint splatters did bleed through. This is the other side of my page. They bleed through a little bit. Because this is a dye ink, and so the dye ink will go, the dye ink will bleed through because it's like a water-based, a water-based ink. But anyway, this is the stamp set that I used the hearts for. So anyway, and then also the bracket is this one here. So if you like stamps, we have plenty of those that you will love, I'm sure. Okay, grunge stamp set sitting in my cart on Etsy right now. Well, there you go. Now you have a reason to get it because it's awesome. And we actually are running low on those. So anyway, but yeah, this is a really cool, if you have ink pads already, not that you have to go out and buy ink pads. I don't want you to all feel like you have to go out and buy a ton of ink pads. But if you have ink pads already because of stamping, then please go for it. You don't even have to buy these sponges. You can use other kinds of sponges. There are other stamping sponges you can get. I like these best because of the density of them, and I like that they're round. But you can use pretty much any kind of a sponge, really, I guess, for the sponging with the ink. So anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this page to finish it up, but I kind of do that. I'm bad about I'm bad about starting something and then being like, oh, but I don't know what I want to do exactly. So anyway, I will definitely do another Periscope. Maybe I actually have an idea. Yeah, I've heard of that too with the makeup applicators. I actually have an idea to do a really cool Calvary page with like a Calvary silhouette of the crosses, and then a sunset, a really pretty sunset background. So Ashley, you'll have to tune into that one whenever I get around to doing it. But anyway, and then one more thing I just found. This is also inked the same way. In fact, I think I probably used the same colors as I did on this page. This was just a bookmark that we had included in our Bible journaling kit the end of last month. And I applied the ink the exact same way. So you can really get a lot of cool backgrounds just by using the ink pads and the sponges. So anyway, I'm not sure if you need this information again, but here it is. You can find us at sweetandsasssystamps.com. We do also have an Etsy store, but the Etsy store doesn't have everything in it. Plus, we have other really cool stamp sets that aren't necessarily for Bible journaling that you can use, like the forest silhouette set that I showed you. This one obviously is not for Bible journaling, but who says you can't use it for that? Yes, take a screenshot, friends, if you want to find us. Also on Facebook, we do have a wonderful Creative Worship Bible journaling group that you can join, and we would love to see your pages. It's not just for Sweet and Sassy Creative Worship. It is my shop, Ashley. I am the owner of Sweet and Sassy Stamps, and we've been in business for over 8 years as a Christian stamp company. And when Bible journaling came to my attention, I decided that it was kind of a no-brainer for me to to start doing some Bible journaling stamps, because I absolutely love the idea of the two together. So, yeah. Anyway, I can't even think now. Facebook. Sweet and Sassy Stamps has its own page, so you can like our page, and we also have a group for Sweet and Sassy Stamps, and then you can find us on Pinterest and Instagram. So does anybody have any other questions? Because I will let you go. I hope you enjoyed it. It was pretty quick and easy. Well, that's sweet. Oh, you emailed me about making Bible journaling stamps. Who are you, Create and Enjoy? I don't know your name by your handle. Okay, well, anyway, I will wrap this up. So thanks for coming, and you came to my house today, but thanks for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time, okay? God bless.